is there like a golden breath? Is there a kind of a ratio, a rate at which we should be breathing to optimize? I mean, on a everyday, regular basis.
Well, it will be slightly different for different people, but in general, if you're operating at a higher frequency, you will probably take deeper breaths in a sort of yogic fashion less often, but the breaths will be deeper and will oxygenate your system to be able to handle the higher frequency energies that you may be beginning to deal with. It is similar to what you experience from the channel's body when we are coming through, where you will hear it takes place in a slightly different part of the body than normal breathing. It shifts to the back of the throat and it utilizes the resonant cavities of the sinuses and the lungs in a different way to make sure that while it may be an intake less often, it will be an intake that will allow for the appropriate amount of oxygenation to support the body in handling higher frequencies. So it's sort of a form of what you call yogic breathing, but it can become a very natural pace when your frequency rises. It may be a natural response to it.
Okay. And would it be true if that breath, if I was to, I guess, master or to inhabit that breath as a daily experience, is it like, can that rid your body of toxicity?
It can help. It can help. But again, it depends on the belief systems of the individual, what might be the path of least resistance for you. You may also find yourself being attracted to any other ideas that may help purge the toxins from your system, such as herbal formulations and such. But again, as long as you are in alignment as best as you can be with your true frequency, synchronicity will bring to your attention the opportunities that will work for you. It might be a combination of things.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah. So I guess over the last couple of years, I've become quite fluent with the information that you've been conveying, and it's allowed myself and my family through the communication of this information to really step into a very magical orchestration of telepathic synchronicity and just hilarious unfoldings, and we experience this on a daily basis in an intertwined kind of fashion. Just really,
exactly. That's how it works.
Yeah. And it's really magical. And,
well, it's really just physics, but I understand what you mean.
And if I step out of it, which I do sometimes, I never step into really the negative, like I always have the tools there basically to jump back in. But there's one thing, Bashar, that I seem to be going in circles with,
and that would be what?
It's it's been with me for now 30 years, and it's issues with my skin. And despite my best efforts with detoxification, with different diets, with this information, with understanding that my skin has brought me on this journey, and I couldn't have learned what I had learned without this issue kind of driving me on this path. It seems to be getting worse and worse, despite my openness, despite my my new sense of being, my new sense of fluency.
All right. Well, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Why should it change?
Yeah.
Can you continue on your spiritual path even if it continues with you? This particular experience with your skin? Is it actually stopping you from doing anything that you really need to do?
No, I'm stopping. I've been here with this question before.
All right. Can you imagine continuing to expand even if that particular physical effect continues to be chosen by you? There's a series of questions here we're asking, so just answer each one in turn. Can you imagine continuing to expand your consciousness and the synchronicity and the joy in your life, even if that condition continues?
No. No.
Why not?
Um,
Where do you think it's going to go? What do you think it's going to do to stop you? Has it stopped you so far?
yes, yes.
How has it stopped you? You just described the idea that your life every day is a joyous intertwining experience of synchronicity and magic. So how has it stopped you so far?
It's mostly a synchronistic, magical orchestration, but it's because I'm become my relationship to food and to everything that I do becomes so has become so negative, because I don't know. I'm trying my best to be open to the best thing, but it just doesn't seem to.
What if this is the best thing for you, whether you know it or not?
Yeah, I guess.
What if it is?
Yeah.
Well, answer the question. What if it is? Will you be okay with it if you actually know that it is the best thing for you? Why must it change?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right.
When you let go of the need for it to change, it will probably change. But up to this point, you've been using it to drive yourself in the direction that you prefer. Do you still have a belief that you need it to drive you further? The paradox may be that you think it's holding you back, but in fact, you may be using it to drive you forward. And you may have a belief that says that you need it to drive you forward, because without it, I know you examine the idea of what would necessarily have been different had you not had it, but think about it more deeply. Would you have driven yourself had you not had it to the same degree?
That's interesting. It kind of ties in with that belief that I can't do it on my own. It feels like the same.
Yes.
Thing.
So this condition may have been helping you in some ways to drive you forward, to seek what you need, to push yourself, to find answers to things that you believe will make things better in your life. So this may be one thing you think you can't let go of, because you may have a belief that without it, you won't continue to pursue the idea of being yourself as strongly as you have in the past by being driven to find a way to let go of it.
Yeah, of course.
You see the paradox?
Yeah.
So you need to sort of relax into the idea that it's okay to have it because you've been using it to your advantage. But by relaxing into the idea that you've been using it in that way, you can then allow yourself to gently shift into the understanding that you have the ability to make an agreement with yourself that you don't necessarily need it, because you don't have to be afraid that without it, you won't have the same push or drive to continue to expand and explore. If you know that you're willing to have the same drive, then it's possible that it may alleviate. But if you really are holding on to it because it's what's been serving you and pushing you in that direction, and you are afraid that letting it go will temper your drive and you won't expand as fast, then you're going to hold on to it as long as you possibly can.